So welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I wanted to talk about if you're planning to relocate to Finland in 2026. So there are several ways which you can use in order for you to relocate. So for example, if you have a family, so that's like family reunion, then you get a family member who is already in Finland to make the papers for you, and then you can travel and relocate and join your family. So that's like for spouse or children. Then we have skilled workers. So if you already have a work agreement or work contract from a company which is in Finland, then you can use that to look for residence permits based on work. And then there is to study. That's another option. And the study option, currently the joint application is on. I will talk about that after this. And then there is, okay, if you're looking for asylum or safe place, then also there is that permit for that, so you can apply for that if that is your case at this time. There are of course other methods. So for example, apart from studies, if you're coming to do research, if you're a research fellow, you can apply for your PhD to come and do your research in Finland. And also if you're an EU member, then you can also apply to relocate to Finland based on your work. And yeah, there are so many options, but just to mention a few. So if you're planning to come and study in Finland, because I think I like to share more about that, because that's the visa that I used to relocate to Finland. So there are international courses which you can apply for. And like I said, the application process is now open. So usually the website is open and basically once a year, and it's currently now open in January. So you should really rush and do the application. I will share the link on where you can log in so you can start your application process. And they're English taught programs. So you don't have to worry that I don't have Finnish language skills or something like that. So basically, the language of instruction is English, so you can apply for the international courses. And we're talking about University of Applied Sciences. We're talking of universities where you can do your bachelor's as well as you can do your master's or PhD. So I'll break down the cost and how you can start the application process. And the good thing is that you don't need, you can log in yourself. And another advantage is that you can apply up to 6 courses. So you can decide to apply, for example, nursing, business, some engineering course, that's IT, and then there is chemistry, I think. And you can apply up to 6 courses. That is like, you can apply nursing in 2 or 3 schools, and then you apply business, another school, something like that. So based on what location you want to get to come and study, that's how you choose. So you get one application, you get 6 universities of applied sciences. So it's a plus. If you're not able to get one, chances are you will get another one. And then there is sometimes entrance exam, basically. And once they select you, the selection, then they will invite you for an entrance exam. And that entrance exam you can do online from wherever you are, and you get your results also posted to you via email. Initially, there was no application fee for the entrance exam, but currently they're charging 100 euros. So you can, I had done a video, I think 4 or 5 months ago, and it was just to prepare people that if you're really interested in coming to study in Finland, then you have to put your resources right. So you pay for the application. Once you apply and then you're selected, you're invited. After the interview, then you can start your application for your residence permit. So it's kind of a process which takes between 1 to 6 months. So when you start your process in January, like now, doing the application, then you get your results around March, April, and then you start applying for your visa, and then you start the courses usually start in August, September. So you should be able to have traveled to Finland at that time. So let's talk about the tuition fees. So initially there was no tuition fees even for international students, but I think from 2017 they introduced tuition fees. and the tuition fees range from 6,000 to around 13,000. So do your research, look at the websites of the different universities of applied sciences and get to see how much they're charging per year, because that will affect, like, based on how much you're capable to pay. So try to check first before you put them in your choices. So if you're struggling with finances, then look for universities, especially that offer discounts, or we call scholarships. So some will even offer scholarships if you pay your school fees early. So they call it early bird, and you sometimes you get even up to 50% of the tuition fees waived away. If you're able to pay immediately, you get your admission letter. So you will get your admission letter via email. Once you get, they'll give you instructions on how to pay the school fees. And if you're able to pay, I think last time it was like 3 weeks, within 3 weeks, then you get a waiver. And sometimes it's even up to 50%. And as the studies continue, then there are universities which also offer scholarship. That's from second year, third year, and the final year. And it's between 10 and 50%. So also check that. So don't look at how much is the 1 year. Look at the possibilities, or which universities are offering the scholarships, so that it kind of helps you with your finances. So let's talk about the residence permit. So you already have your admission letter, and now you're planning to apply for your residence permit. So what you need, number one, of course, is a passport, which should be valid for your entire period of your studies. And of course, there are chances that you can renew before your studies are completed, but it's a big hassle, especially if you don't have your own embassy somewhere near Finland. So like for Kenya, we have an embassy in Stockholm, Sweden. So that can be a challenge, especially like traveling in between. You don't know how the finances will go. So basically, I think it's wise to have a passport, which is valid for the entire period of your study. So you don't have to worry about traveling abroad to get your passport renewed. And then, of course, the admission letter is a requirement, and proof of finances. And usually they say around 560 to 600 euros per month. And they want you to have that for an entire 1 year. And so that comes to around 6,720 last time I checked. So you have to have that in your bank account as proof of finances as you apply for your residence permit. So make sure you have that in your own bank account. So usually they might accept if you have the funds in your parents' or guardian account, but most important is that you have access and evidence that you have money to sustain you for at least 1 year. And apart from that is the health insurance. You need health insurance cover when you're applying for your residence permit. And for the health insurance, most people use SwissCare because you have access to it online, and you get the insurance sent to you via email. So you're able to access it even without like so much hassle. So just fill the details, your history, and that's it, your email address, and then you pay online and you get your insurance cover sent to you via email. And then the cost of living in Finland. So we're talking about finances and everything. So what is the actual cost of living in Finland? So basically it's approximately around 600 to 900 euros for a student. So usually the university organizes for accommodation for the students. So you get an offer, you accept the accommodation place or unit, and you pay for the rent plus the deposit, and you get a unit from the school. So usually the school organizes for that, for the University of Applied Sciences for international students. But in an event that you don't get, then the rent will be higher than the student apartments. And the student apartments they're okay. They're enough for studies for a short period. So I don't see why. Unless, of course, you have a lot of money, so you can live somewhere, bigger house and things like that. But basically, it's enough. It has a kitchen. You have your own. You can have your own bathroom or shared. Those are small details which I think most people can live with. So basically, based on your lifestyle, you can manage with around 600 to 900 euros per month. So that's like rent and buying food and clothes and your hobbies and things like that. So basically, if you budget well, that should be enough for you per month. And I forgot to mention that when you're looking for the universities, the cost of living is slightly cheaper if you're outside the Helsinki area. So if you go farther away from Helsinki, then you might get like cheaper cost of living. So that's like accommodation, food, and food is basically the same all over the country or all through the country, but like rent is a bit different. So if you're struggling with finances, then it would be wise to just take a college which is far away from Helsinki. Of course, the challenge with studying far away from Helsinki also is that the job opportunities are quite less as you move away from Helsinki. So let's talk about job opportunities. Are you able to work as you study? So usually the residence permit based on studies allows you to work up to 30 hours in a week. So in 1 week, you have to try as much as possible not to exceed 30 hours because, I mean, that's the law on your residence permits. And most of the common jobs that you can do is cleaning, of course, before you get your before you graduate. So as you study, you can do cleaning jobs, warehouse jobs, delivery jobs. I mean, casual jobs. You can basically apply for that or get referrals to get a job so you can support your living. So that's like rent and food. But usually I would recommend, in most of my videos, I actually say that make sure you have 1 year access of funds, because chances of getting a job might be very slim. So you might end up staying for 1 year or even slightly more than 1 year before you get a job. So if your funds were like only enough for 2-3 months, then you might really struggle. So make sure your finances are in order so that you're not struggling. Oh, this light is so bright. Yeah, that's much better. So make sure you have at least 1 year access to finances so that you don't end up struggling in an event that you are not able to get a job. So try to have that in mind, because it might be difficult for you if you're trying to raise cash for school fees and raise cash for upkeep. It's too much. It's too much for the students. So after graduation, if you don't have a steady job, or if you have even like a short contract, that's really good, because then you can apply your extension of residence permit based on work. So even if you have like 2 months, 1 month, any work contract that you have is very important. That might help you to extend. That is, of course, if you're planning to stay in Finland. So you use that to apply for your extended residence permit based on work. So remember, your initial residence permit is based on studies. Then you can apply for an extension based on work. And another option is, if you don't have a job by the time you graduate, then you can apply for 1 year. It's 1 to 2 years contract, which is given to you as you look for a job. So it's only given for fresh graduates. So if you graduate and you have your certificate and you don't have a work contract, then you can apply for residence permit on the basis of looking for work. So that's allowed here in Finland. And in the process, of the 1 year, then you try to look for a job so that you can renew your contract based on work. So if you're applying for studies in Finland, I think the most important is to avoid the agents. There are so many negative news about using of agencies, because the agencies, they're only looking at how many students they are getting into the country, but they don't care about your welfare. And most of the things that they say to the students is that once you go to Finland, You might even graduate in 2 years or 2.5 instead of 3 years. You will get a job within 1 or 2 months. You're able to buy a house. I don't know, like false information that is given to the students, and people come with the hope that when you get to Finland, you're able to get a job immediately, and then you're able to support yourself. So even the support that you would get back home is kind of people are thinking that you're coming to sustain yourself, when in real sense you need more help when you get here, because of the cost of living, and the jobs might be difficult to find. So don't use agents. The website, from the website studyinfo.fi, I will share the link. You can apply everything yourself. You can do everything yourself. So no use to use agents or get false information from agents, and then you end up being disappointed, depressed, and I think that's not really good. So just do the application yourself. And of course, if you have any questions and I'm able to help, I can guide you through the process. So moving to Finland in 2026 is possible. You just have to be patient, plan early, get your resources right, do the things yourself, do your research, contact the universities. Even the universities of applied sciences, they actually reply the email. So write to them and ask, what is the process if you're stuck? And yeah, I wish you the best in your journey, and yeah, see you in Finland. Comment if you get a chance, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye bye.